What's going on, everybody? What is going on? Look, it has been a rough month. Not only has it been tragic, we have Jacob Blake being shot 7 times by a police officer, not any police officer. White racists, because I believe they are. Because your whole thought process, your whole mental state, the way that you would handle a person is different than how you would handle the person of your own race. I just want to thank anyone who may hear this video in the future or whatever. I know I come on, it's pretty sporadic. I'm telling you, it's been a real rough month. I know a lot of you notice that the planets are playing they're doing acrobats or something. Something's going on in the universe. Hi, Janet. Something is definitely going on planetary wise. I'm a person, I like astrology. I was raised what you would call Christian. I personally call it believer. I'm a believer. People have corrupted and polluted the whole meaning of Christianity. Christians have done that to Christianity. A lot of people that are Christian, I can go so many different ways if I continue to talk. So I'm just going to try to stay on topic. Let me just say that with Uranus being retrograde, you'll find yourself having a lot of internal struggle, a lot of conflict, something that's forcing or trying to force you to be depressed. Things that continue to happen. It's not you. It's just the way that the atmosphere is evolving right now. And it's also a part of it's a time for you to work on fighting and finding other ways to think about a situation, because we can't change how we feel, but we can change the way we think about how we feel, which will change how we feel. It all scientifically works. It spiritually works. It's just universal. It's a full cycle. So if you are experiencing some of those frustrations, you are not alone. On top of that, we have, again, Jacob Blake. The title of this video is, I believe I titled it, he's handcuffed to the bed. This is just sick and crazy. I don't understand. It makes no logical sense, no rational sense why they would do this to him, why they would tie him to the bed knowing the man is paralyzed from the waist down. It just makes no sense except hate. You want to insult him. You want him to know he's under arrest. You want him to know you're not on his side. You want him to know you belong to me. There's no other message to put out there. Hey, Tone G. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start. Not going to be long at all. Like I said, it's been rough. Just to get to go live has been a whole task, to be honest with you. So the first thing I want to do is I want to read the update of what's going on. Just get the references out of the way. And again, thanks to everybody who is joining me in the chat, or anyone that sees this video after the fact. So yeah, let me go ahead and just get some of this article, read some of this article. Here we have Jacob Blake, and this is an article, let me just say, by CNN. Jacob Blake is handcuffed to his hospital bed, family says. Okay, and this was updated 12 a.m. this morning. Okay. Jacob Blake, who remains hospitalized, sustaining multiple injuries, is now handcuffed to his bed, his family said. Blake's uncle told CNN on Thursday that Blake's father visited the Wauwatosa, Wisconsin hospital where his son is recovering from at least one surgery. And remember, y'all, he's had multiple surgeries. They assume that he's going to need more surgeries. He was heartbroken to see that his son was handcuffed. This is an insult to injuries, Justin Blake, the uncle of the victim, said. He's paralyzed and can't walk, and they've cuffed him to the bed. Why? Blake, a 29-year-old black man, that's why, has spent several days in the hospital. A Kenosha police officer shot him 7 times in the back on Sunday while trying to detain him, state investigators said. Kenosha Police and Sheriff's Department, as well as the District Attorney's Office, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. CNN has reached out to the Blake family's attorneys. A spokesperson with the Frotert, whatever that says, hospital where Blake is being treated, deferred CNN's questions to the Wisconsin Department of Justice. They're not speaking at this point. They're not saying much at this point. I gather that they're trying to get their facts straight, get their story together to try to justify, like the rest of the hateful world are trying to justify why a black man 29 years old with his boys, his young sons in a vehicle, even though they were told that by the mother that the kids was in the car. They're trying to justify why that police officer pulled that man's shirt and shot him in close range 7 times. I thought I counted 8, but okay, that's what they're reporting, so that's what we going by. So I'm not going to read. Let's see. Let me read a couple more lines. Let's go down to here. Andrew Yang, a former Democratic presidential candidate and CNN contributor, said Thursday that he spoke with Blake's father. He told Yang that he's glad to see that his son is awake, but is angry that he's restrained. His father actually used the words chains. He said, "My son is chained up," Yang told CNN's Aaron Burnett. When speaking to his father for the first time since the shooting, Yang said that Blake asked why was he shot so many times. When asked what message I could share on his family's behalf, hashtag Jake Blake Sr. said to me, "Tell them my son is a human being." Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers said in a news conference that he couldn't imagine why Blake was handcuffed. "I would have no personal understanding why that would be necessary," Evers said, answering a reporter's question. "I would hope that we would be able to find a better way to help him in recovering. That seems counterintuitive, and it seems to be bad medicine." Now, here's my issue with Tony Evers. Tony Evers, you're the governor. You're the governor. I am so sick and tired of y'all going up there for talking points to present yourselves like you really care about us, and you really don't. The power is easy. All you have to do is order the mayor. All you have to do is order the mayor to take the handcuffs off of him, to not arrest him. They're not even giving details, really. They waited 3 whole days in order to give any type of details, and that's another part of the outrage from the people. Us, the people. We, the people, we're outraged for that as well, because you take 3 days to come up with a story, and now your story is that he had a knife. So that's not cool. Let me go ahead and go over to the video here, and let me play this from CBS. I'm gonna play from a Mark 30. I'm gonna try to get to close to 38 to get to the details. Don't want to play the full video, but let's see in a synopsis the update. Listen in.
We'll go to Mola Langi in Kenosha, where he's on top of this story. Mola, what can you tell us? What's the latest there?
Well, Gail, it was another night of protests out here last night, but a very different atmosphere, much calmer than previous nights. You know, not a whole lot different than it looks and feels out here right now. That's after a police-enforced curfew kicked in an hour earlier.
Wednesday was Kenosha's quietest night since Jacob Blake was shot by police on Sunday. Although protesters stayed out well past the earlier daylight curfew, there were no major conflicts in the streets.
During the incident, officers attempted to arrest Jacob S. Blake.
Last night, Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul announced new details about Sunday's shooting. He identified the officer who shot Blake as Rustin Shesky, an officer with the Kenosha Force for 7 years. In the first press conference by the AG since Sunday's shooting, Kaul said investigators recovered a knife from the driver's side floor of Blake's SUV.
During the investigation following the initial incident, Mr. Blake admitted that he had a knife in his possession.
Blake has undergone surgery and is still recovering in the hospital.
Good afternoon.
And Kenosha Police Chief Daniel Miskinis said violent riots are overshadowing the incident that prompted protests in the first place.
The underlying message is about racial tension and police violence. When things become violent, that message is lost.
On Tuesday night, 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, allegedly seen here on video wielding a gun, started firing off rounds as bystanders approached him. 2 of the people shot died of their wounds. Rittenhouse walked right past police and from the scene, and it wasn't until Wednesday that authorities arrested him in his hometown of Antioch, Illinois, 20 miles away. The teenager's social media, which has since been taken down, reveals a fascination with police.
We're protecting from the citizens, and I just got pepper sprayed.
A video posted to Twitter on Tuesday appears to show a conversation with the alleged gunman shortly before the deadly incident.
Well, sources tell CBS News the FBI has sent special agents here to Kenosha to help with the investigation. The officers involved in the shooting, in Blake's shooting, have been placed on leave. None have been charged. Wisconsin officials say they are fully cooperating with the investigation. Anthony.
Mola, thank you. You can't help but notice the contrast here between a black man who they think might have a knife ends up being shot in the back 7 times, and a young white man who is carrying a gun and leaving the crowd walks right by police officers.
And
At
this
one
is
point-
absolutely what I wanted to hear. You know, so that was a synopsis. We know that that was a 17-year-old boy. And yes, Tone, I don't believe. I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't get charged. If the cop didn't get charged. But we have a 17-year-old white boy carrying an AR-15 assault rifle down the street in a crowded vicinity. We're in a crowd. We're in a protest. So there's many people walking back, forth, to, fro. He's walking around freely carrying an AR-15 weapon. Walked by police after he shoots 3 people. People are screaming, he shot somebody. He shot somebody. They were aware that this boy shot somebody. They treat white people like they're gold. They give them respect. They treat them indivisible, as Kamala Harris quoted, which was the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag. Now, speaking of Kamala, people don't like Kamala, and I didn't know much about Kamala. During the protest, the first protest with George Floyd, I got to know Kamala a little bit, and that's when I decided I did like her, because while everybody was protesting, while the news was reporting the worldwide protests and also coronavirus cases, I happened to find a video of Kamala Harris and Cory Booker passing a bill or going into Congress to make sure that the lynching bill was not edited, because there was a guy there right then and there that was trying to change the lynching bill, change the terminology of the lynching bill, which would, I believe, carry less of a conviction case for lynching. It was all technicalities, the way things are worded, and it was just sneaky behavior. And it was Kamala and Cory Booker, who is also the senator, I believe, of New Jersey. Kamala being the Senate of California, if I'm not mistaken. I gained a lot of respect for Kamala because she and Cory was doing the work. People are protesting and they are rioting. They are looting. No matter what they do, they're peaceful protesting. Right in the middle of all of that, they are still killing black men. Not just black men, unarmed black men that are not posing as a threat. Now, I've been seeing on social media discuss. People are saying shit that would basically constitute that this is something justifiable. Well, let me just tell y'all this. There's nothing justifiable about shooting a man 7 times in his back. That is not justifiable. He's not posing a threat at all because his back is to you. Why couldn't you tackle him? Why couldn't y'all take him down? They say that they tased Jacob several times, and Jacob's strong. Jacob's a black man. Black men typically are strong. They are typically powerful, and everyone knows that. And I believe that's another reason why they are automatically using force, because I believe that they are afraid of black men. And this is keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real today. I have the utmost respect for anybody, any human being who shows respect to me. I like people. Okay, I'm not a racist, although we can argue. I'm thinking of some of the comments I read in other social media platforms. People are saying how black people are racist. And we can argue that at sometimes black people can be racist. We just may not realize we're being racist. But this is not that. Okay, this is not that. We're just speaking real. Black men are typically stronger than a lot of races. What drives these police officers to shoot down our men? What drives these police officers to come in groups. Like what startles me, and what I mean, it's just simple things I see that can change. For one, it's a problem when every one of these black men that are killed, and women, Breonna Taylor, that was killed this year within the 6 months from, within 6 months of now, they are all killed by white cops. That's a problem. That is a problem. I'm still wondering why they won't take them out the neighborhood. Hell, if you don't want to be there, why are you there? So I didn't understand why that metric has not changed. Why are you still sending them out into the neighborhoods when they just don't like black people? It's very obvious. Very obvious. But when we talk about systemic racism, as Kamala Harris often addresses, she often addresses systemic racism. That is a problem. When you have racist white men and women that are in the White House, racist white men and women that are in the police stations, they're the chiefs. What are you going to do when they're the governors, when they're the people of power? They know they know what they're doing. They take them positions just so they can have power, so they can have control. They can exercise hate. We need to remove these people from office. We got to get rid of them, because otherwise, y'all, I don't see anything changing. I give up. I give up on hope that anything will change, okay? If it changed, great. If it don't, I kind of assumed it wouldn't anyway, because we also have to talk about the black on black crime. Charity starts at home. If you have your own people that are not coming together as a community, the leaders of the people are the rappers, the people that's on platforms. They the ones that's speaking to the youth. They're the ones that's really programming the youth. And you have people like, I spoke against people like Cardi B, who's promoting promiscuity. Did I say that right? I believe so. We have NBA YoungBoy, who is promoting gun violence. We have all of these thug rappers that are promoting death and being thugs and being drug dealers, living a flashy life. All of those things that keep the community, keep the black people mindset to a low IQ. So I think it's a lot of things that within our own community, we got to fix first, because charity starts at home. Ain't nobody going to respect you if you don't respect yourself. No one. They can freely, like I just had to report somebody on Twitter. Someone said the nigger had a knife, the monkey had a knife. The way they speak so freely, and if you think about it, we're not wanted anywhere. We're not wanted anywhere, any country. Africa is just now, I'm seeing, saying come back home. They're welcoming us back, because now I believe they had a taste of reality check when the coronavirus hit. All those Nigerians over there in China that were had dealt with racism over there, that were I can't think of the word, basically dealt with racism over there. They were interrogated by racist Asian people, kicked out of the restaurants, all of those things they went through. I feel like that brought it home for Africa. They got to feel. Sometimes you got to feel things to understand things. That's why I'm careful when I talk about what people are going through. I'm careful, because I don't want to know what it's like. I don't want to go through that. So you got to kind of sometimes be empathetic towards other people, and sympathetic towards other people, because you will learn today. So they learned, and they felt that. They were over there in hospitals. They were kicked out of Italy. They didn't want them. They were called monkeys as they lay there sick with coronavirus. They were left untreated, kicked out of their homes that they rented, just treated like shit. Pure, nasty shit. So what and when are we going to do something about it? I'm disgusted sometimes when I look at my own people. I am so fucking disgusted. I'm very disgusted when I look at our condition. I know there's a lot of people that there's some people in our community that's not like that use their brain, that try not to be another statistic, another ignorant person that just don't want to do better, that have to talk ghetto and hood radish. I mean, we're not all like that. But I think we have to see that we need to stick together. We need to try to get smarter, speak a little bit better, earn some respect around here, because that's out of line. They handcuffed Jacob to a bed. The man can't move. So what's the point? It's just another, like the uncle said, to add insult to the injury. That's what that was for. And the governor can shut his mouth, because you're the damn governor. You're the governor. I don't want to hear your pity party, pitiful ass excuse. You can easily order them to unchain the man. Take off the handcuffs. Take him off those handcuffs, because you're the governor. So don't give me your little phrase of fake concern, because it's fake. And I'm over the fake. And this is why it's very, very, very important for y'all to take up for one another. Guess what? So I was looking at Nicki Minaj. If anyone, I don't know if you know by now, but Nicki's my favorite rapper of all times. Nicki, she's just, I love her. I love her. I've always respected her. I always looked at the way her demeanor, how she carries herself. I always listen to her lyrics. I always watch her through the years, how she moves. She does not come on social media a lot. She waits. She's wise. And I respect her. I looked at a video she had come out today with Ty Dolla $ign. And social media wanted to know, how did you like the video? Everybody knows that Nicki Minaj has the largest fan base, the Barbs, the largest fan base ever. So they asked on social media, how do you like the video? Ty Dolla $ign, his woman that he had in the video, other than Nicki, she wasn't black. I don't know if she was Arabian. I don't know if she was Spanish or just, I don't know, white. I have no, but she wasn't black. And this is a problem. Men don't respect us. They don't honor us. Why couldn't you have a sister up there? We in a moment, in a momentum, in the time right now where we are getting the worst of the fucking bottom of the barrel. We are getting the scraps that fall off the table. We not getting treated right. So it's not smart, in my opinion, for you to have nobody but a black woman. It's time for y'all to stick together, dog. It's time for y'all to hold us up and respect us, yo. It's time for y'all to do it, or else they're not going to respect you. They look at you like an idiot. They look at you like a low IQ, non-human being. And I don't know what it's going to take for you to see things need to change. Little things like that make a world of difference. Don't no other race, I always say this like a damn broken record, no other race goes against their own in the media, out in the public. They don't do that. They don't belittle their women. They don't do that. Just black people. What other woman calls himself a bitch? Black women do it. I never did it, okay? Because I could never feel right. I didn't care. I've never been a follower. I would not call myself a bitch. Now, I'm not going to say I never, ever did it. I won't say I never did it. But if I did, I quickly scolded myself, because that's not something I like. I don't respect that. Women calling themselves a bitch is stupid. It's not smart, and you will not get no respect. I remember Megan, when she just came out last week and she spoke out, she referred to herself as a bitch. A bitch. But you the same Megan that want the world to protect you. What is your thinking? What are you thinking? Who's going to protect somebody like you? Who's going to want to protect? You sit on Instagram, Megan, and you twerk, you show how your butt, you do everything but a string in between your cheeks. You may as well be naked. And then you want respect? You want somebody to want to protect you? But you carry yourself like a hoe. I saw a post that Gossip XO on YouTube put out on his community post. In the post, if I could find it, if I can find it. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to read this post. And thanks so much for coming to the live, y'all, and being with me. Please like this video. You know, I'm talking a lot about culture obligation, and I'm talking about sticking together. I'm asking you to like this video. It ain't that hard. If you don't like the video, I understand that. But if I'm asking you to do it, please just like the video. You know, it ain't hard. Help a sister out. It ain't asking for money, although I will be doing that too. I don't have a problem with asking for money. I like the idea, okay? But I'm not. But just please like the video. I'm not going to go there right now. The post that at Gossip XOXO put up says, let me see. And this is, where my glasses? Hold on. If I can't find them, I'm going to have to squint. That's all. I just had them. That's weird. I don't know if I threw the good God. Oh, there they go. Okay, y'all. So here's what it said. And thanks for liking the video. I assume you did. So actually, Gossip XO responded to this. He posted this on his community post from some girl named Han. Let me see if you could see it. See? You can't really see the picture of the girl, but you can see she's not black. OnlyFans has really shown how prominent slut shaming is. Men happily watch porn daily, but now hate that girls can use the market that males created to their advantage and make a living from it. Don't hate the worker when you consume the product. That's all I'm saying. And Gossip XO put facts. Now this is what I said. I'm gonna try. Let me just paraphrase, because I don't even see the comment. There were so many. Hoes will never be respected. Give it up, flat screen. Oh, hang it up, flat screen. Hang it up. Hoes will never be respected. God did not create a woman in this world to be a hoe. What? He saw you as something beautiful to look at, something beautiful to behold. You are the carrier of the next generation. You bring forth life. He don't need his womb, everybody up in his womb. He don't need everybody up in his womb. He wants you to cover your loins. He wants you to guard your loins. Now, I'm not saying we have to be perfect. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. But I'm saying it's not never gonna be respected, sister. OnlyFans is not. It has a reputation of a bunch of thoughts that go up there to basically be pornographic. What man is gonna respect that? This is what I'm saying. And it's not only black women in this sense that's on OnlyFans, because they're not the only ones that act like hoes. I'm not even on there, but listen, it's time for us to see how we look at how we look, because guess what? You gonna have to respect yourself before a police officer, a judge, and jury is gonna respect you. Period. No one's gonna give a care about it. No one cares. You can hoot and holler all you want to. If you want to be a hoe and you want to make that liberating and you want to make that goals, Sukihana, it's not going to happen, sweetie. It's not going to never be respected. It ain't never, like Snoop said, we don't let them hoes. It's never going to be respected. We need to stop. These rappers need to change this whole narrative. I'm glad Nas came back out with his CD or whatever, his new music, because Nas carries with him wisdom. Nas puts fruitful things into the atmosphere. He plants good seeds into the ground of our minds, to the men. You got all these young boy rappers that's out here, thugs. Now look what we have in the world. Thugs. You know? So it's a change that we have to be before we can expect anyone to respect us. I went into Grotto's Pizza during the pandemic. I go there every now and then for my buffalo wings. Theirs tastes a little different than sometimes I want a different taste. I went to Grotto's. I go in the door and I don't see no black faces. I see a bunch of. I felt like I was a monster? The way they looked at me, like the music stopped. And they stared at me. And I'm like, I'm looking around and the type of person I am, that's my opportunity to show you who I am. That's the type of person I am. I'm not going to melt. I'm not going to say what you looking at. That wasn't the time. Now, in another time, if it was the time, I would do it. But in that specific moment, I welcome that. Because I know you expect me, because the protests are going on, because of the police brutality, you expect me to come there with an attitude. But you don't know me. You've never met me yet. You'll love me, honey. And that's how I feel. because I respect myself and I take the time to try to better the way I speak. And I'm not perfect, like I said, but I try. You got to try. Go in there, they staring at me like I'm a monster. Then, all right, so I look down, look back up. The same guy looking like he ready to pull out an AR-15 at me. At the bar. He's at the bar. I'm coming in. Mind you, though, when I did come in, the door slammed. That's the way their door is. So that could have also been an element of shock to them. And they could have just looked at me and said because people have a way of looking at you. They stereotype you until they get to know you. So I go in. The bartender was like my angel because he's seen how uncomfortable I looked and how uncomfortable I felt and how the people made me feel that way. So he said, hi. He was just very welcoming. He said, hello, how are you? And I said, hi, I'm fine. And I made sure that I spoke clear, concise, and just to the point. I'm fine. How are you? So I just go up there to the register because I had already called to order my food. Get up there. The cashier was a little nervous. But as I begin to speak to him with respect and confidence, hi. I'm Linda. Oh yeah, I just told y'all my name. That's cool. And I told him my name, and I saw how his demeanor relaxed as I began to speak. And then he gave me a free soda. He gave me a whole box of pizza, and I was thankful. And he called me. He said, "You know what? You're an angel from God." I turned it around because I gave them something different. I gave them respect. You gonna know that I'm confident. You gonna know that I'm not scared of you, and you gonna know that you're just as human as me. We both, when we do the same thing. We cut, we bleed. That's what we do. So when I'm in your presence and you're in my presence, you will know that I'm not the hood rat that you thought I was. All of that stuff. But you know what's more important? I left an impression of black people when I left. I left the impression that, okay, they not all like that. I'm telling you, that's what I left. Now, what will mess that up is if they have another one come in that's ghetto as hell, that's rude, and that has the same test that they come in and people staring at them and they take it the wrong way and they don't handle themselves and they're not confident and they become insecure. So they react out of emotion instead of logic, instead of just being yourself and just speaking. That might damper everything I just did, So it's about us all unified, all of us recognizing I want to be a better person, period. I want to be respected, so maybe I should respect myself too. Maybe when I'm in a neighborhood that's quiet, maybe I shouldn't blast my music. Maybe I should have more respect for the area I'm in. It's not out of fear, it's out of respect, okay? Because if you want respect, you got to give it. That's the only way. No one's going to respect you if you don't respect yourself. And like I said, you can holler all you want about WAP and Cardi B. You can put this music out and try to defend this ratchet music. She even said in an interview, Cardi said Atlantic, her record label, did not even want to put WAP out because it was too vulgar. So you already know it's vulgar. Before we even heard the song, you was already told by your record label that the song was vulgar. And you still put it out. So you knowingly put the song out, knowing what the impact would be, knowing how that's going to decline the change in us, how it's, you know what to expect, and you still put it out. So therefore, why should I or you feel like sorry for her for any type of pushback she get? Why should I be feeling sorry for you? You know what you're doing. No, you know what you're doing. You get respect when you give respect. Get respect when you give it. Period. Now, what I will say before I get up out of here, y'all. Hey, Tammy and Lydia. I will say that, like I said, Jacob Blake was handcuffed, and that's out of insult. You was just trying to insult him. You was just trying to make him feel locked up, period. The man already feels locked up. His vertebrae was blasted. His stomach and his intestines were shot. His spine was severed. His liver and kidneys. So the liver is the filter of the body. That's severed. So he might have to wear a coloscopy, what is it called? Colonoscopy bag or something, just to go to the bathroom. So he has to go through all of that stuff, and you still put handcuffs on him. You want to insult him. It's time, guys. Now, what I'll have to say also is this. There's something that I didn't really care for. His mom, very well spoken, speaks very well, very well. And why is it important to speak well? No one's asking you to sound like a white person. Don't do that, because then you'll be fake. But it's about trying to say things in a way where people can understand your language, and they will respect you when they understand you. Don't go in there ghetto. We got to get out of this ghetto trash. We have to try. We have to try. I believe this. Wait, before I go off again, you know how I do. It's a lot you can say. But what I was going to say about the mother, she speaks very well English. I understood her, and I felt her compassion, and also I respect her, But one thing I will have to say, Miss Jacob, because I don't remember her name, you don't have to apologize. It sounds like you're apologetic. Why are you apologetic? Why are you apologizing? Why you have this apologetic spirit? And this is a problem with Christians. And this is why people don't want to be a Christian. This is why they can speak against Christianity. Because honey, when has God ever been a weak back? Let me know. Ain't that the God that gave King David, said he the best king that ever lived? King David? Didn't David take a rock and kill a giant? Didn't he? It was the shield. I believe that he used the shield, the sunlight, with the glare from the sunlight to blind Goliath, and he threw a rock and killed him. When has God ever been a weak back? Moses murdered a man. He murdered a man, and God hit him. God said, all right, get out of here now, go. God protected him. God led Moses through the Red Sea, and the people of Israel through the Red Sea. Drowned Pharaoh and his army. You might say that's impossible. Why is it impossible? You just saw Hurricane Katrina a couple years ago. You see what happened? You see how much the water flooded over the world and people died? You don't think the winds can blow back the water? But you see there's Hurricane Laura right now, and we in hurricane season. You don't think that your faith the size of and I'm not about to preach, but you don't think your faith the size of a mustard seed really can move a mountain? Why not? Think, people. If you believe with a mustard seed, you can move the mountain. Jesus said it. It's so. How so? You don't believe in an earthquake? You don't believe in, volcanoes erupt and the ground breaks. Your faith can erupt a volcano and break open the earth. Your faith can erupt the ground and break open the earth by way of an earthquake. It is extremely impossible. You have to think about it. It's not like it's just magic. It's not. It's by his spirit. It's by your spirit. So you have to have the faith in God. But like I said, these Christians today need to just start calling themselves believers, because people don't believe in Christianity. They don't believe. They don't. And guess what? I've never been moved by what people think. I know the miracles by the miracles. Know the spirit by the spirit. I've tried the spirit. So no one can ever change that. Doesn't matter how many dumb A's I am. They can call me dumb. They can call me ignorant. It doesn't matter. I know I'm not ignorant. I know what I experienced. And when you know what you've experienced, don't ever let somebody change you. Don't look at this situation with police brutality and say God ain't listening. This is why this is happening, because he sees what we did not see. We was going about our lives, wasn't we? We didn't know that cops was killing black people until George Floyd till Ahmaud Arbery, that came out. That's just one incident of I don't know how many more, but it had to be exposed. He's the seer. He sits high. He looks low. He looks low, and he is in control. These things must come to pass. So don't give up your faith in God. Don't give up your faith in God. He got this. Jacob Blake was supposed to die by man, but by God, he was never going to die. He wasn't going to die. The man got shot 7 times in the back, and he's alive. And I thank God. I thank you, Jesus. I do. I'm praying like I'm praising. I thank God. I do. Because he should have been the next one. But God said no. I said no. He breathed his own breath into his lungs and said, you're going to live. You're going to talk about it. And I'm going to see to it that I get revenge. You're going to see my revenge. You will live to see what I will do for you. I look at the symbology, if that's a word, I think, symbology of the fact that he can't walk and the fact that he would not stop to the police's demands. It would make me think the police purposely wanted to stop him from being ever. He said, don't, like for them to say, you walk away from me, I'll make sure you never walk again. I can imagine sometimes we do have to be chastised. We do have to be whipped when we are rebellious. We have to be whipped. We have to be obedient to God. He's the fighter. He will fight. He will fight. Moses didn't open the Red Sea. He took that staff and he put it in the ground and commanded. God told him to do it, though. He told him to do it. He just obeyed what he was told by God to do. So we got to listen, and we have to look, and we have to sometimes zip our mouths and listen for what to say. You know, that's that. But like I said, Miss Jacob, you don't stop apologizing. You didn't do nothing. And this idea that Christians have to apologize for everything, that's a lie. That's a lie. What you apologizing for to do? Well, and this is the thing. I always say, well, would you apologize to Satan? Just think like that. Would I apologize to Satan? That's a fool. No. I just think about the judge that put, I forget the cop's name, that killed the woman cop in Texas, Houston, Texas, that killed Botham Jean. Went in his apartment and lied and said she thought it was hers. I think about the judge that went down from her stand and gave the cop a Bible, how the other guard was combing her, rubbing her hair. They're worshiping these people. Why? If I was them, I wouldn't respect you either. Why would they respect somebody? They can see what you're doing, and you're like, don't be doing that. Stop being apologetic for stuff you did not do. If you did something, yes, it makes sense. Make your way straight. Make it right. But to be apologizing for something you didn't do is a fool. And it's sending the wrong message of who God is, what Christian is, and then all that. It's wrong. And I like to tell people that because they start saying, well, I don't want to be Christian because they stupid. They stupid. That's not Christian. That's them and their sympathetic behinds. That's their soul, their spirit. That's what they do. That's them. They ignorant and they need to be learned. Okay? So I really, again, want to thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all for coming. I'm on the whim. And I really, asking again, if you haven't, just like the video, because I want the message to be spread, period. One of the things I want to play is Trevor Noah. Trevor Noel or Noah. He has his own, if you don't know who he is, he has his own show he do. And I like what he said, so I'm going to try to find that video real fast. It's just an Instagram clip, so it's not much. But let me see. I like what he said. What he said is very true. Okay, found it. Very, very true. And he speaks on the 17-year-old boy and the type of respect that white boy got. And I have to say white boy because don't y'all say black. We can say white. Because I always felt like that was like, I don't like to, it don't feel nice to me. But let's go ahead and see this here. That's just my feelings though. But let's see this here. Here's what Noah said. Speaks on white shooter. Let me make this bigger. All right, here it goes, yo.
Drive to Kenosha with his militia buddies to protect a business, and apparently ended up shooting 3 people and killing 2. But don't worry, the business is okay. And let me tell you something. No one drives into a city with guns because they love someone else's business that much. That's some bullshit. No one has ever thought, oh, it's my solemn duty to pick up a rifle and protect that TJ Maxx. They do it because they're hoping to shoot someone. That's the only reason people like him join these gangs in the first place. And yes, I said it, a gang. Enough with this militia bullshit. This isn't the Battle of Yorktown. It's a bunch of dudes threatening people with guns. And while what happened with those shootings last night is tragic, what happened afterwards is illuminating. Because it made me wonder, it really made me wonder why some people get shot 7 times in the back, while other people are treated like human beings and reasoned with and taken into custody with no bullets in their bodies. How come Jacob Blake was seen as a deadly threat for a theoretical gun that he might have and might try to commit a crime with, but this gunman who was armed and had already shot people who had shown that he is a threat was arrested the next day, given full due process of the law, and generally treated like a human being whose life matters? How did Dylan Roof shoot up a church, James Holmes shoot up a movie theater, and both live to tell about it? Why is it that the police decide that some threats must be extinguished immediately while other threats get the privilege of being diffused? I'm asking these as questions, but I feel like we know the answer. The answer is that the gun doesn't matter as much as who is holding the gun. Because to some people, black skin is the most threatening weapon of all. Drive to Kenosha with his
and that is
militia
extremely sad, extremely sad. But Trevor has meaning. He's mad too, and I understand that anger. I mean, absolutely. It got darker outside, but I understand that. I understand Trevor absolutely. This boy is a 17-year-old white boy. He can't have a gun. He can't have a gun. He's 17, and you get to walk past a police. The police officer walks right past you. Dude had his hands up. That's a sign of guilt. You got the. I mean, they saying he shot. Like you know what? They have culture obligation to each other. Period. They look out for one another. Period. When are we black people? When are we going to come together as a community? When will we have our own government? When will we have culture obligation? We need. I don't have to know you. You should be taking up for me. I should be taking up for you. We need to, and it's not about being racist. It's just smart. Every other race sticks together. And they expect us. I don't think it's an insult. I think that they know. Like, they are knowing these things. They know. I'm pretty sure they know that they might say why black people don't stick together. Why won't they do it? I was talking to my Indian friend, and we always have a conversation about what's going on, and she says the black community needs to stick together. She was talking to me about how her parents don't like black people. And I said, okay, why? She said, well, they don't like white people either. They just only like their culture. That's their generation. But then as we begin to talk, she also talked to me about how the Indians, their different groups and tribes or whatever you call it, the Indians that wear like the things, the taxi driver type thing, they was getting a lot of racism, especially during 9/11. And it opened up my mind. I'm like, oh, okay. So they was getting that racism because of what happened. You had those terrorists. People was stereotyping them, thinking that they could also be terrorists. So there is, sometimes it is legitimate. It's I think it is there's reasons why people are racist to you. You know, sometimes it's valid reasons, for valid reasons. If you call, and we do it, I do it. I say nigga. But you know what? These rappers, they write songs with nigga in the lyrics. And then when that white person that liked the song, when that Asian person that liked the song, they recite the song. And they not being racist. They just like the song. They say it. We call them racist. We get on their case. We put them in danger almost. But that's what I'm saying about using our brain. It's time to change. Why would you think that putting it in your lyrics, they can read all the lyrics except that? It's stupid thinking. It don't make sense. It does not make sense. If you don't want them to say it, don't write it in the song. I mean, am I wrong? Black Lives Matter. He made Black Lives Matter said he made a bad move, point blank. And he also says, if you know that the police is trigger happy, why would you walk away from a police officer that plus reach in your car like that? I'm with you there. I'm glad you brought that up. Hi, Vicky. Vicky says, so it's an excuse for them shooting him in his back 7 times in front of his children. And I like this conversation, y'all. And you say, for real? Now, this is the thing. I like that objective thinking. You know, we gotta be careful, man. I know. Now, this is the thing. You gotta. They rumor, and I have not heard a legit story, so I don't know. I'm gonna say it's a rumor that he went to break up a fight, and the dispatch said that his children's mother called the cops and said that he wasn't supposed to be there. So before the cops even came on the scene, there's rumors that he was breaking up a fight. If I'm breaking up a fight, if this is true, and then the cops come, they got a gun on me. They want to tase me. They coming at me, and I know they said he had a warrant. I know I got a warrant. One, I'm also trying to do something good too, and they still at me. 3. So what does it feel like to be targeted or to go through that stress in that time? That kind of gives me ground as to why this man would even resist. Not an excuse I'm making. I'm just trying to understand his mindset at that time. And no, nothing justifies shooting a man from his back. Nothing justifies that. Like I said in the beginning, you could have tackled this man. It was more than one cop. They could have tackled him, put him down. You know, if they cared, if their mentality wasn't racist, then they would have handled it differently. I don't care. They would have handled it differently. They wouldn't have done what they've done to him. They would have handled it differently. Any cop that likes black people but really is of the law, and if a black person's wrong and you have to administer the law as a cop, the way you handle it still would be different. You don't want to kill the man. You are angry because he's not doing what he's supposed to do. You annoyed because he's not stopping and he resisting you. But your instincts is not going to shoot this man and try to kill him. You have to really be fed up with this man living. You have to really not like this dude and don't care nothing about his kids, to be told his kids repeatedly or in the car to shoot the man in front of his kids. You had to not give a darn about this man or his kids, his humanity at all. I just think that was a good way to. That was a very good point both of y'all had. Bonnie says, I don't really know what happened. This is my first hearing about it. But isn't there some kind of human law that you never shoot a man in the back? Absolutely. Yes, Bonnie. Yes. You said, I think maybe tasing him would have been acceptable in this situation. They say that he was tased, but he just handled it like a champ. They say he was tased. Still killing a man. I mean, come on. You have the little 17-year-old boy that has an AR-15. He murdered 2 people. He shot 2 people. And the cops walk past him. So what America are we in? What are we doing? What is up? What's up? It still don't justify. Drew says it's all about life and death now. We know the cops trigger happy, but the move he made was flat out asking to be hurt. I can't disagree with that. It's absolutely right. It was stupid, if you ask me. It's stupid. You got a cop. I mean, it's already. We know where we're at right now. We just had this happen with Ahmad. We had this happen with George, Sean. Remember him? We had this happen. Brianna was in her own. I mean, come on. We have too much happening. There was another man in Louisiana that got shot. I believe they said it was the night before or after. One of them, or at the same time, the same night, shot this dude walking around the gas station with a knife. Now you asking for it. And if you thinking in the mind of a cop that's already fed up with black people, already think black people are stupid, they don't care about themselves. Why should I care about them? That's how they would be thinking. So it's important. People got to just level up, get the brain skills up, because it's ridiculous. Derek says they trying to say he had a knife in the car. That's their BS angle. Yeah, and then they wait three days to come up with that. Why did it take them 3 days for a story to justify something? Why it take them 3 days? Because it's bull crap. And I believe that is bull crap. I do. So y'all, I might come live later. I want to thank y'all so much for participating in the live. Very, very much. Please stay tuned, because I might come live later on. I just wanted to acknowledge this story and give my thoughts on it and hear what you thought about it. Thank you so much. Peace, y'all.